Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm doing my twice weekly broadcast from where my son donates so I can use the time. It takes him 2 to 4 hours inside, and depending on the crowd. And so I'm using my time wisely. I have to get up early so that I can't really record in the morning. It's still dark when I leave. And it's a nice cool day. In the summertime, we don't want to see a nice, beautiful, sunny day. We want to see slightly overcast, no rain, and that's exactly what we've got. Now, I haven't seen my birds this morning because they weren't up yet, so I got up before the birds. But they'll be looking for me when I get back. The big family next to me who was also feeding them, they're gone. So the reason that I couldn't do a Friday live stream last week, there were two reasons. One, I had to drive, and two, I had noisy neighbors. They're both gone, so I don't have any excuses this week. We're going to try for a Friday live stream this week. Thursday is the 4th of July, so Friday will be the recovery day for those that celebrate. I don't celebrate anymore from the drinking point of view, but I'll celebrate the country's birthday. Maybe the last one for a while. So we're going to definitely try to use that. Speaking of which, I've mentioned it already. If you have pets, keep them away from the noise. They don't like it. Scares them to hear firecrackers, gunshots, anything noisy like that. They have very sensitive ears. Either keep them in a room where they're isolated. We used to put ours in the basement. Or you give them drugs. You go to their vet and ask for tranquilizer pills, which you can give your pets when you're driving or doing something that's stressful for them. It's to help keep them calm. There's no sense in them not understanding and being upset. So take care of your pets. Okay, so we've just gotten through the weekend. Everything's starting to get back to normal. My friend has gotten a car and a place to stay, so he's in good shape, so I don't have to drive him anymore. I'm going to start looking for work to see if I can get, 1 or 2 days a week. I don't need a lot, just a little bit. And that way I can keep fixing things that break. For those of you that do contribute to my page, I thank you very much. Every bit of it is used for the Lord. I am basically on a shoestring budget out here. And I don't mean the house that the little old lady who lived in a shoe lived in, but I'm a little bigger than that, but not much. All right. Everything is continuing to move ahead, but everything is slowed down. Things are slow, and I was starting to think about why are things slowing down, advancing in the wrong direction slow. It's because we're up to the edge. We can't take big steps, or we're over the edge. So they're taking little incremental steps in all the areas that we're concerned about. Money, World War III. North Korea is going to send troops over to Ukraine. So now U.S. military hardware will be used to fight against North Korea. There's grounds for World War III. China doesn't like us, and they would like to do the same thing Iran does, get North Korea to attack, and they don't have to. China's got a big military. They could attack Taiwan anytime they want, and they haven't. So they'd rather have somebody else do it. Another thing to keep in mind, too, is that all these leaders are getting old. North Korea is different. That guy's not that old. But somebody pointed out something very noteworthy, I guess, in North Korea. You look at every once in a while, they will show a video. Usually some kind of a parade or something to do with the president or something political. But they're going to show all the people out there, and they're all happy and all hugging each other and all that kind of stuff. It's all propaganda. But they're all skinny. The only person in North Korea that's fat is Kim Jong-un. He's the only one that's fat. He's the only one that gets a full meal, multiple meals. There's not enough food there. And look at satellites. You want to know why communism isn't going to be any fun for anybody? Look at a satellite at night. North Korea, South Korea. You see lights on in South Korea. North Korea is dark. They don't have electricity. We're all going to be the same under communism. Poor. That's the way it works. And they're going to do their best to eliminate as many people as possible. A world war would be a good way to do that. But they don't want us to go in and just start dropping EMP bombs. They want to kill people. Satan wants people dead, so there will be something to do with that. Price of food's continuing to go up. Last week, I guess it was, I don't eat out a lot. But occasionally I will, just as a present to myself, I guess. I had a steak from Longhorns. No, I didn't go out and get it. I had it delivered through Grubhub. I had a coupon, so I used it. And I'm figuring, okay, I'm going to have a really nice steak. Flo's filet, yeah. I could have had a better tasting sole than this. It was tough. I had to really bear down to cut through it. Took me a long time to chew it. It's like, is this the quality we're going to get from restaurants? And you know that what you have in the market is not restaurant grade. The meat you get in the market is just, it's average stuff for the average person. The good stuff goes to the restaurants. And if they're serving that kind of stuff there, meat's going to get very, very difficult. I would, even if you're a vegetarian, start eating meat because it's going to go away. Our biggest vegetarian communist is Bill Gates, and he's buying up everything to keep us from having meat. So pretty soon, Christians, we may have to go back to eating manna. Hopefully we'll be out of here by then. Okay, so let's see what's going on. NASA had launched their spacecraft to the space station, and now they're afraid to bring it back. It's a typical government job. Done in a hurry, on a budget, and now they're afraid to bring it back. They may have to send SpaceX up to bring the astronauts back, the NASA astronauts. And the space station is what, 20, 30 years old? I forget now how old all of it is. SpaceX has been given the contract to help dismantle it and let it fall apart and burn up in the atmosphere. They're about done with it. Now they're going to have a new one, but they don't have that yet. SpaceX, speaking of them, they tested a little mini rocket to see if they could catch it and work with it with the arms that come in and catch, the chopsticks as they called. They got to be ready for the next launch where they want to bring the spaceship in and have it caught by these chopsticks. Now their plan is they're not going to do that right off the bat. It's going to come back for a standard water landing. And if everything is a go, if there's no problems, then they're going to have it divert itself. It's not going to be far away, back to the launch site and have it come down and get caught by the chopsticks. Chopsticks. Yeah, my lips are kind of dry. Everything is coming up to the edge. We're just waiting. What's it going to be? There's going to have to be some kind of distraction coming up here shortly. Barry Oz pointing to a possible rapture on the true Pentecost, which is next month. I won't turn that down, but I don't know enough to agree or disagree with his, because he does so much research. And I'll just keep telling you what I'm telling everybody. It's imminent. It's always been imminent. It's been imminent since Paul's time. We have to be ready. We don't know when. And the world's going to continue to go down while we're supposed to be helping. My other guy that I watched, Travis, the Prepared Homestead, they set up another organization. This is something, I'm giving these things out as ideas. They set up a group of people, I don't know how many in it, but a small group, that whenever there's a fire or some kind of a disaster, they're going to show up. Now, he's a firefighter, so he'll be part of the fire part. But the team will show up and bring food and water and take care of the people, including medical care. Take care of the people that are out there doing their job to put out the fire or whatever the natural disaster is. You ought to be looking to try to form groups like that, either within your church or just your community. There will be problems coming up. And having a small group that can mobilize quickly and get out to where you need to get, you'll be there before the government is. We've got the earliest hurricane on record, Beryl, and it's already doing damage. And it's been a Category 5. I don't know if it still is, but it's been that way. It's going to go south. It's going to probably hit Mexico and not Florida. But it's been going through the Caribbean. And this is the earliest one in history. So, is this going to be a tough season? Could be. The United States is deserving God's wrath, so we got to be careful here. Every time we've done something stupid in the past, we've had a major disaster. Not a man-made disaster. The hurricanes that have done the most damage have happened right after, for the most part, right after we rejected Israel. Them giving up their Gaza land, them giving up the bank area. Whenever we've forced them into doing something to give in to the enemy, and our government was responsible, we paid a price. I'm expecting something coming here pretty soon. Economists are saying don't do anything in June. I don't know what they know, but they're saying don't do anything major in June. What have we got coming? I don't know. We know our government's floating up the economy. Not only is it making up numbers, but it's also buying stocks and doing things to make it look like we're doing good. It's paper money that they don't have to worry about repaying anyway, so who cares? We're getting more and more warnings from Russia, warnings from North Korea, warnings from Iran and their surrounding friends. We're on the edge of World War III. What's going to be the domino? Something's going to start it. Now, this isn't like World War I and II. This is going to be more like something big is going to happen and it's going to escalate fast. We know that Israel is going to have major problems when they start dealing with Hezbollah. As much damage as they've done in Gaza, they're still fighting Gazans there. Their new policy, go in, fight in an area, and then back away and let the terrorists move back in, monitor them, and then go back in and destroy them. Rinse and repeat until there's no more terrorists. They're hiding amongst the people, and there's lots of them. They're not coming across the border anymore. These are ones that are still there. And they've got the help of the people. The people themselves who Israel's been protecting, most of them are sympathetic to the Palestinian movement and don't like Israel. It's a good thing I'm not involved in making decisions. God would have a talk to me before we would be involved. But I'm ex-military. We don't go in and shake hands That's the politician's job. We go in to eliminate enemies, and they're all over the place. I don't know that there's enough bullets in the world to get rid of the enemies of God. So God's going to have to deal with it. I'm not calling for war, and I'm not calling for violence. I'm just giving you a perspective. Yeah, I hear you guys. So, try to find organizations that you can get involved in. Whether they're prepping organizations, whether they're helping organizations. You know, I'm not talking about a neighborhood watch, but we're talking about people who are going to be helping others in crisis. We have a lot of crises on the horizon. And having people that can immobilize, have equipment. If you've got medical people, if you've got plumbers, electricians, people that can join in these groups, that can help put things back together when they fall apart. With hurricane season, we get tornado season. In the south, we have tornadoes. Occasionally, we get a hurricane, but they don't do a lot of damage from the wind. We usually get a lot of rain, and that's where we get the damage, flooding. But if something comes through and we get a big tornado, power is going to be out for a long time. What's your plan? You may have gotten lucky so far. And I know that there's no such thing as luck, so I'm using that sarcastically. But you may have gotten by so far, but I wouldn't count on that in the future. Have your plan ready. Have a meeting plan for your family if they're all working in different places, where to meet up at, what everybody should bring if we're going to all mobilize and go someplace. If you got a cabin in the mountains, that would be a good spot to meet if you can get there. Chances are you're not going to have food and anything else up there, so everybody has to bring something. Make sure you keep your cars full of gas. Because if things shut down, you won't be able to get gas for your car. And you're only going to go as far as that gas that you have will take you. I'm about ready to go fill up again after I get done with this video. And I'm going to go try to find another tripod for my phone, because I stepped on the leg of my other one and I broke it. I don't know what God's trying to tell me. I'm using just a normal selfie stick, just as a guide here, but I have to be very careful. I can't move around with it. It spins, and the phone can fall out, so I have to be careful. I'm standing against these trees as a background, and a little bit of a brick wall. Do your due diligence. Make sure everything is in order. Have a place where, or a portable plastic folder for paper. You can carry these things around. Put all your important documents where you can grab them. Birth certificates. Car ownership if you need to sell a car for some reason. Legal paperwork. Anything that you might need that you couldn't replace right away. Keep it where you can get it. Passports, all that kind of stuff. I keep that stuff with me all the time because I can't, I'm mobile. But if you're in a house, have it where you can get to it, where you can just grab it and go. Have a grab and go bag that's got clothes and food and stuff. Per person. Everybody needs to have their own. Because you may not be able to come back. If there's a nuke someplace, you may not be able to come back. If you can get out before everything hits, then it's good. Prepare yourself. We're getting ready. Everybody I'm watching, they're all saying, I feel something big is coming. They're all saying that. Even the non-Christians are saying that. Now, we don't have to worry, but the rest of the world will start worrying. It's been real easy and nice on them. They don't care about Christians. They don't care about God until things get bad. It's about to get bad. So be ready. Yes, we're getting out of here, but I can't give you a time frame. I'd like to accept Barry Yaw's middle of August time frame, but I can't even do that because I don't know. Be ready. Love your family and friends. and have a plan, and then practice it. It's good to teach your kids when they're young to have a plan, but if you haven't done that, try to get them to buy into it. If they don't buy into it easily, promise them pizza. Food is always a good bribe. All right, until we meet in the clouds, soon I hope. God bless.